Hey, and we are live. Welcome back to the Hooch, everybody. Got Koi Mac here and Michael Harris. We got a great show for you today. But first, I want you to check out this amazing and awesome new intro.
Welcome to the Hooch, where the only place more messed up than your hosts is the barracks on a Friday night or the VA. So get ready to stand by for your weekly dose of toilet humor and shenanigans from your fellow veterans, Koi Mac and Michael Grizzled Grunt Harris.
Hey, and welcome back, everybody, to the Hooch. You got myself and Michael here again. We're trying a new software this time because last week we keep running into technical difficulties with our previous programs, so that's why we weren't here last week, and now we are here today. But you can always find us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the Savage Patriots doing our thing over there, talking with all the guys on that side. But today we've got some fun and interesting topics to talk about. We're going to be talking about Title 42, the Neely. I keep forgetting what his name is. Crap. Yeah, Daniel Penny. His arrest over the Jordan Neely death, and then the woman who requires a 500-word essay for you to get a date. So that should be fun. But first, I want to bring up some fun things we found over the internet for everybody. And the first one we're going to go ahead and share is...
It's always fun.
Anna Navarro being Anna Navarro.
Oh, yeah. You know, the view...
You know that I'm black, right? You do know that I'm black, right?
Says, Anna Navarro says Hispanics and blacks are not immune to being white supremacists. So, Michael, do you think that's true?
It's 100% true since the mainstream media said it. You know, one thing about Anna Navarro, she used to be a Republican. You know what I mean? And then she gets on the she gets on the View, and I don't know if them witches, and I meant to say witches, not the other word. I don't know if they got like a brew back there where they have Eye of Newt, scales of a dragon, and they have them drink it, and this is what you get. You get the new Anna Navarro. But you know, that's just a term that's going around nowadays. I remember them calling Larry Elder a black white supremacist.
The black face of white supremacy, right?
Yes. The Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas, he's one. Jesse Peterson, he's one. So anybody who doesn't toe the line of what blackness is, now you're a white supremacist. Makes total sense.
Michael, you are a white supremacist. That's
because I don't fit the mold. I don't fit any mold.
It sucks though, because like you're not allowed to be black and conservative, like that Vosh video that was around that we played on the Savage Patriots. So, like, it's the same thing. It's like, I have no respect for black conservatives at all, because basically the same talking point that all leftists believe in is that you're not allowed to think outside of the leftist box.
And the thing is, like, these leftists and people like Anna Navarro and, you know, the witches on the View, they hate the fact that black conservatives are a lot harder to control mentally. We don't buy into their woe is me crap, and that really drives them crazy, man. They were like, we can't brainwash these black conservatives, and we can't let them out there enlightening our black base about conservatism. Because when the black base sees these black conservatives happy and successful, they're going to want to know what they did to get there. And we can't have that. We got to have them under our thumb. And
you can't be black and successful, right?
Yeah, and the fact that they can't do that to us, we get stuff like this.
No, you can be black and successful. You just have to vote Democrat and then also contribute to the Democrat campaigns. That's the only way you can be successful.
That's right. And you have to be oppressed at some point, or you have to feel some type of oppression. Right. You know, it kills me when you get these rich black people to say, well, when I walk into a supermarket, everybody stares at me. Liar. You're freaking lying.
You liar.
You're not oppressed.
Yeah, no, there's another person that's feeling oppressed right now, and it's apparently this church. I don't know if this is a legit church, but it is absolutely funny and hilarious. So let's watch.
So what? We're just not supposed to have a christening jacuzzi anymore? With less and less young people coming to the church, I fear we're not going to be able to afford our zip lines anymore. The zip lines are like an integral part of the Sunday service, and we're barely
Okay. First off, if you have a zip line in your church, what kind of church are you going to, my friend? Like, honestly, what church has a zip line in it?
There are churches out there that have zip lines, and mainly, you know, when you get churches like that, especially mega churches that look like one of those big churches, they use the zip line a lot for, you know, holiday plays, because they do put on a lot of plays and shows.
Okay,
So the
I
return,
get that. So it's like the angels floating down from
yes,
heaven type of
that's
situation. I got that. That makes sense.
my
But for
chihuahua
me,
is going to drive me crazy.
I know the chihuahua always gets you. You got to get the crisps thing that you can mute the audio. Your audio is muted, by the way. Anyway, but the point I want to make with these is like I have a really big disdain for mega churches, just because I know how much money they waste, and these preachers just pay themselves like massive amounts of money for no reason. It's like it's the same issue I have with nonprofits, right? Mega churches and nonprofits are evil organizations that are only in it for the money. The nonprofit thing is not legit, period. It's not true. But there's more to this video, which I think is absolutely funny.
Making payments on the EDM prayer hall we got last year. I feel like if we don't get more people to the church, next month we're not going to be able to go to Disneyland. We're going to have to go the month after. This was the christening jacuzzi we were going to be putting in the basement of the church, and then we ran out of money.
We ran out of money.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to churches like that when I was young. So when I was in a foster home, the family that we lived with, my brother and I, was part of one of those kind of crazy churches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the real Southern Baptist. Even though we were in California, this was a Southern Baptist church.
Was it a legitimately Southern Baptist or
I don't know.
Baptist? Or
I
was
was
it
a
one of those
kid.
Pentecostal churches?
Hey, I don't know what it was, but it was weird. And I remember
The Holy
like
Rollers.
I remember standing there, my brother and I, and a pastor, and everybody's falling over and shit. You know, the pastor's like, oh, blah, 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 and he puts his hand on her
sounds
forehead.
like those Holy Roller churches.
Yeah, and the people were falling over, so he gets to me, and I don't fall. And
You're supposed to fall down.
And he does it again, and I remember people pulling me down to the floor. You know what I mean? It's craziness. These churches, they get up there and they make all this money. They're nonprofits and they make all this money. They're rolling in Mercedes Benzes and they're got their Gucci suits and their wives got the fancy hats, while the people are poor as hell asking for money.
Asking for the handouts, and you're like, you must tithe 10% of your income so I can get my new Audi.
Nowhere in the Bible does it say that.
I know, like these
these
people are evil individuals that prey on people who want to keep the faith, and it's one of those things that annoy me to no end, my friends. I could speak.
So I don't go to church.
Yeah, churches. I could go on a whole religious tirade on this, but I'll spare the people on that. My point is that John the Baptist baptized people in a river. The church is meant for the people. It's not meant to line your wallets and to get your private planes. And I'm talking about you, Joel Osteen. You know,
the church.
You know what you did.
Coy, the church are the people.
Yeah, the church.
It's not a building. The church are the people. And I mean, you go to these churches, man. You got to figure how many people were giving money every Sunday. Then you got Wednesday service. Then you got Sunday service. Then you got everyday service, and they were giving all this money. Yep. And then doorknobs are falling off. Lights don't work. Air condition don't work. Where's all this money going? Oh, you just pulled up in that new Benz right there. That's where that money went. So yeah, don't give all your money to a church. Give that 10% to the man upstairs of your time.
Do some charity. That's what you're supposed to do.
Do some charity.
Take care of your fellow man.
I don't know.
Speaking of taking care of people, there's another video that I want to show of the dumb things that you find on the internet. I don't know what football game this is, but it is laughably insane. So here's this for everybody's viewing pleasure. What is wrong with America?
Well, that's the new beauty standard for one, and I'll give it to Lizzo and the Fabulous Five.
Bold and beautiful, man.
You know, but they had a lot of cardio for women their size. But you know, in the world we live in, that is the new beauty standard. And there's nothing against big women, because I have big
Yeah.
women in my family. But they're saying that being overweight is okay. I've never
Big is
heard,
beautiful.
or big is beautiful. I've never heard someone overweight saying they enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're always like, man, I got to lose some weight. You always hear that. So, I mean, God bless them. If they're out there dancing and they're out there rumbling
At
the earth,
least they're exercising.
they're
At least
exercising, they're getting their cardio in. Now, if they can just focus that more, they'd be looking like me.
I don't
Slim.
have a leg to stand on when it comes to weight right now because I have let myself go for many years now.
Fasting.
A few years ago, I mean, I was like 10% body fat was good, and then depression and anxiety killed my body, and then
How many years
ate
ago
myself. How many? Like 6 years ago. Like I was in better shape than I am now, for sure.
I mean, fasting works. Everybody thinks, oh, Mike, you're a cook, chef, whatever. You must like to eat. No. We don't eat as much as people think.
Yeah, there's a thing that's really like, it's not necessarily people's problem. Obviously, Americans as a whole overeat way too much for sure, but there's also an ingredient problem in the United States, and this is something my wife and I have been talking about recently, is the fact that you cannot go to a store and find something that isn't processed to hell and doesn't have a ton of, here's the thing, I found this out recently, but did you know preservatives were originally called anti-digestives? So they called it preservatives so it didn't sound so negative.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
and you're right. It is a for one, it's an eating problem. It's a huge problem. Two, it's what they put into it. But when you go, like, I've been to Europe and I've been to so many other countries, and they have a lot of the same restaurants we have, fast food like McDonald's, Taco Bell's, KFC's. But you don't see this problem over there. You know why? Is because those countries don't allow a lot of that crap in those fast food chains. Because, of course, it's a franchise. So they're not putting a lot of that stuff in there. America, we flooded with GMOs, XMOs, all types of crap, and they wonder why people are getting obese.
I want to share this with people so that is that you can get actual Italian flour for a reasonable price into America. So this flour is going to be much better for you than anything else, right? And so you can get a case of 10 for, I mean, we're talking, this is 10 kilos of freaking flour for like $34. That's a pretty good price for flour. I'm not gonna lie.
Kilos. That's all I heard.
Kilos of flour.
With me, being in school, culinary, learning everything, I've learned that your best friend is a farmer's market.
Yep.
Food tastes way better. So if you're one of these people that like to cook and you want a healthy alternative, go to a farmer's market. Go to a butcher, go to a farm where they're actually processing their own meat. I'm telling you, it's going to taste better and you're going to feel better after you eat it. It's not going to give you the ass grenades like Taco Bell and a lot of these fast food restaurants.
Dude. There was another one. I found this out recently too. Did you know the pesticides that they spray on vegetables and fruits and stuff like that, right? Get retained into the fruits themselves, into the juices. So you can apparently, I don't know if this is true, apparently you can squeeze down all those inorganic fruits and vegetables, take the juice and respray it on your crops, and it would still be effective pesticide. That's how bad it is in the US.
That's why it's key to do the best you can to wash your produce. Wash. Soak it. Always wash. Don't just rinse it. You let it soak in water. Sometimes people add vinegar to it, white vinegar. Some people add salt, to pull all that stuff out. And trust me, when you soak it in water, you're going to see everything that was in there, and you're going to be disgusted.
You really should. And I know I'm bad about it too. I should really wash my fruits and vegetables, but I do not, and that is a big problem. But like I said, you can pick up things relatively cheaply depending on where you go. You can get better things. Apparently, Aldi's is a good place as well because their non-name brand stuff doesn't use the same dyes that the American counterparts do. So if you want to get rid of the red, yellows, and green dyes that the U.S. does, go to Aldi's, get their knockoff brands, and they have natural dyes instead of the commercial, bad dyes that we get in the U.S. But
yeah, and I mean, if you look at the natural color of some fruits, compared to what you buy in a store. A lot of that stuff is to catch the eye. So they spray
Mm-hmm.
dyes on it, they spray gloss on the apples, they do all this unnatural stuff to make you look at it and be
wish I
like,
had that
oh,
one.
that looks good. But actually, there's a lot of poison in that thing. So just look it up for yourself, man. I mean, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Hey, you only live once, right?
Right. There was a video
But
I saw recently of a potato farmer that was doing that. They were spraying the potatoes red. Like they were creating red potatoes from gross looking brown potatoes, and that's not natural. Like people have this wrong idea of what food actually looks like, especially in the supermarkets, is that a lot of natural foods do not look the same as store-bought corporate foods that they're feeding you. They are feeding you poison, and we keep ingesting poison every single day with everything that we ingest. And I know it's hard. I'm bad about it too, especially with the kids. Like we should be getting better foods in their diets, but it's always cheaper to eat badly than it is to eat properly. And that's what the really sad thing is in the US.
did you know that like certain seedless fruits aren't natural?
They are not.
That's all created. You know, fruits
GMO.
are supposed to have seeds in them, and you actually you can eat the seeds. We've been taught to spit seeds out. Now I'm not gonna eat a big pear seed or something like that, but like watermelon seeds, you can eat those.
But that was
You
the
know.
whole point of fruits in general in evolution, is that you're supposed to eat the seeds so you can crap them out so they can get replanted. That's the whole point of seeds.
What's that old saying? If animals can eat it,
You can eat it.
we can eat it.
Just depending. It depends. It depends.
Well, I'm talking about the ones that don't eat meat. I'm not gonna freaking jump on a fucking gazelle and start gnawing on it. I'm talking about, like look at a gorilla in its natural habitat.
Right.
Most of the things these gorillas and these animals that eat vegetables and fruits, they're not going to eat something that's nasty. If they know it's poisonous, guess what? They're going to stay away from it.
Right.
So most of the time, if you see them you see them eating it, you could probably eat it. Will it taste good? Probably not. But
live.
you can most likely eat it.
Most likely live.
And look how big gorillas are.
Right. Speaking of poop, I did find one of the most ingenious things that makes me want to have one of these things. I don't know if I should, but it's absolutely great. I would totally use this. I mean, come on, man. Look at that. That is amazing.
I don't know.
I would totally poop on that.
I'm not a fan.
For those of you who are listening, you don't see it. It's basically a giant square like gray block that you can put over your toilet, and it looks like an actual like comfortable throne to sit on. It's very wide. It's probably meant for large people, but
I go to the bathroom to do number 2 for one reason and one reason only. I'm not there to be comfortable. I'm out there to release them demons I got in my stomach and get up and move
gotta
out.
take the Browns to the Super Bowl.
If you do something like that, people are going to get comfortable on their phone. They're going to be like, you got to use the bathroom somewhere, and somebody's in there comfortable as hell, and you're out there, hurry up, man, and they get real comfortable. So me personally, not a fan. I don't need a throne. I just need Koi might need a throne.
What it's missing is it needs one of those like kind of like those TV trays that swivel. You just put it on there and you can put your laptop, you can do your work, and just take shit while you're doing it. Just keep going.
I mean, Americans are so spoiled. Most
right?
countries in the East,
Oh,
they still squat.
yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
It needs a bidet too. Like if it had a bidet attachment to it, that'd be even better.
I just
They
don't know
like-
about water in my booty hole like that.
Apparently, it gets you really clean. That's
Supposed
what
to.
I've been told. It's supposed
You'd probably
to,
be
but-
like,
But I prefer having baby wipes or flushable wipes over toilet paper anyway.
yeah,
It's better.
usually
It's so much
water.
better.
Water works too, but
That's
like
what
you said, a
bidet
bidet.
is. A bidet
Yeah, like you
works.
said, a bidet. But I mean, that's what a lot of countries do. A lot of countries don't use toilet paper. A lot,
Yeah.
and
I don't know
America's
why
the
we
only
use-
one.
I don't know why we use it so much. It's really not that fun. It's so dry.
Yeah, how do we know
Does it not
toilet
feel
paper's
good?
not giving us like prostate cancer?
Could be. I
You
don't know.
gotta question everything.
You do have to question everything.
Everything.
So moving on from all of that funness, we got to go to the top stories for this week as we move on. Apparently my son has come out. But the one of the funniest stories this week, I think, that I found on Twitter was this couple. that decided they were going to smuggle 375 pounds worth of fruit rolls into Israel.
בן אדם חוזר מחו"ל.
I mean, we're talking a lot.
פתח לי פה רגע את זה.
Why?
I'll get to the story. It's actually really funny. But like, look how much that is. And there's more.
Is it illegal?
ישנו רגע.
It'll make sense here in a minute.
אין מה להגיד. אין מה להגיד.
But like, you see how much they smuggled in? Like, it was like 3 suitcases full of Fruit Roll-Ups, right? Why? Like I said, it'll make sense here in a second when I tell you why. So, I got the article pulled up from the New York Post. The reason why this happened is because of the fruit roll-up trend. Do you remember that on TikTok where they were taking the fruit roll-ups and making them into ice cream cones for people?
Oh, yeah.
That's why. They ran out of fruit roll-ups in Israel, so they skyrocketed from like 50 cents to $6 a piece in Israel, right? So these people smuggled 375 pounds there, which goes against the limit, which is 11 pounds. They could have brought 11 pounds of fruit roll-ups, but 375 pounds is too much, and it breaks the import tax, basically, is what it is. So it breaks like the immigration policies there. So you can't smuggle 300 and some odd pounds of fruit roll-ups into another country and expect them not to get onto you for that.
Imagine
Like,
sitting in a jail cell, but like, what you in here for? Smuggle some fruit roll-ups. Like, what?
Yeah. So apparently it's created a black market for fruit roll-ups. Like in Israel and the United States, apparently, because they've just been buying them up all over the place.
If they're paying the right amount of money, I'd smuggle some fruit roll-ups.
I think that's what they were going for, is they smuggled them because they spent like $10,000 on that amount of fruit roll-ups, and they could have made like close to like 30,000 or more.
Wow.
Selling it on the black market. That's why they brought it in there. So it was like, it's like the cartels getting involved in avocado sales, right? It's more profitable to be in that legit business because of how much avocados go for now. Like, I was just at Whole Foods today, and 2 avocados go for like $5. 2 avocados, just 2, not by the pound or anything. It's just like 2 avocados, just 2, and for $5.
We're doomed. You wait till summertime, how much that stuff's gonna cost.
I mean, avocados are great and they're a great source of fats, but I mean, I don't know if I need that many avocados in my life. That's what I'm saying. Like, guacamole's cheap. You can just buy guacamole instead. It's fine.
You know, you can buy peeled and chopped avocados already done at like Aldi.
Cheaper. Yeah.
I think they're more because it's a bag of them.
Yeah.
Like a whole bag of chunks. I was like,
don't
who's
know,
going to
man.
eat all these avocados? It's a lot of guacamole.
Apparently people do. I mean, that's apparently the millennial thing to do, is to have a giant thing of guacamole, like not guacamole, but avocados and toast and like
Avocado
it's all over there.
toast.
But that's why the cartels got into it, is because it gives them more money, and so they diversify it into avocados. So they go to the avocado farmers in Mexico and stuff like that, and say, "Hey, you sell for us now." And now they're in the avocado trade, not just the drug trade. They're in avocados too. So I don't know if we should boycott avocados so that the cartels don't get money, but they're still doing it anyway. So
If the cartel's involved, boycotting it's not going to stop anything because there's somebody else involved.
Yeah, there's always somebody else involved when it comes to the cartels, but that's just how crazy the world is. Speaking of crazy, one of the main getting into the next story, one of the main things that we wanted to talk about was the dating scene that's happening in the United States. And this actually is coming from the UK, but it just goes to show the West. Okay, I shouldn't say the United States. It's Western world dating is what we're really dealing with. So this woman, in her infinite wisdom of things, she's 36 years old, single mother, wanted men on Hinge to write a 500-word essay to weed out the competition, basically, and also to see if they could actually do it and not waste her time. She wanted them to explain how you will not waste my time. That was the thing that she wanted them to do, was tell me how you're not going to waste my time in a 500-word essay. So
Go to her picture real quick, and I'll tell you how.
Back to it? Okay.
Yeah, just pull up her picture down there. All right. Okay.
Yeah, that
I want to see her teeth, though. What's she hiding?
No,
Why isn't she showing her
doesn't-
teeth?
She doesn't show her teeth. It's just that
Yeah,
straight.
so she's
that straight
hiding
smile.
something. All right, that's one red flag.
Red flag number 1, sir.
Red flag number 1. What are you hiding? Yeah, I don't know, man. It is the Western dating scene mainly because a lot of Western women have gotten away from traditional values. It's this modern feminist movement that has
Yep.
created this, and there's a lot of podcasts out there that question these
manosphere.
women. Yep,
Yeah.
they question these women. Like, okay, why does a man have to do X, Y, and Z to date you? And they always talk about because I'm a boss and blood and my looks and all this stuff. And
I'm a boss, babe. You gotta.
You're
I
boss.
gotta have a high value man.
yeah, they want a high value man by being a low value woman. You know what I mean? You
Yep.
can't sit up here and expect to meet a high value man and him to take care of you and do all this stuff for you when you're low value. You know what I mean? A high value man
Yep.
wants a high value woman. And your definition, what you consider high value, that's on you. You know,
Yep.
everyone has their own definition on what they consider a high value person. But women like that, and I'm not knocking single moms, I'm just putting things into perspective. She's a single mother. She's 36. You know,
Yep.
so you're expecting a high value man to come into your life, be dad, but you want him to write out an essay on why he should why you should let him date you. No, he's just going to go to the next woman and date her. They're not, dudes, real high value men aren't going to waste their time writing an essay for you.
Nope.
They're not. I tell you that right now.
I
I'll
mean,
kick rocks.
I can imagine some stupid boot wanting to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's a private thing to do. Like, oh man, I really think this chick is hot. I'm gonna go in there and write a 5-paragraph order just to see how like awesome I am.
Yeah, you remember that Eminem Stan? He's sitting there. Hey Stan, I just writing this letter to tell you. You know what I can just? He's just sitting there and looking at pencil, and it's dark, and you got this light over him, and he's writing his letter.
Nope, that is definitely what's happening with like. Could you imagine being so like desperate for Putang to write an essay? I mean, I understand doing it for college because you have to, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to write an essay on their free time. Not a single damn person in the world. A normal person does not want to write a 5-paragraph essay or even a 500-word essay to date you. Like, whoever did that was not in the right mind.
Who wants to be grammatically correct all the time? I don't. I like,
you know, honestly, there's
misspelling
probably
words.
just some guy that went into Chat GPT and just like, here, write me something for this, and he just sent it.
To be or not to be. That
is
the question.
Oh, actually,
Romeo,
that would actually be
Romeo.
hilarious to do.
I mean, and you're right. There's probably some freaking simp out there right now, lonely, and you know he's going to write the letter. What is her criteria outside of a 500-word essay?
It was the how to not waste my time. That's what it was.
Okay, so she's willing to take some guy who can barely get out of bed, that's 500 pounds, smells like schmegma, but he's a perfect writer.
Schmegma. God, dude, that's gross.
That's what she'll get. You know, that's the type I'd have fun with her.
Okay, let's have fun with this. Since we're on the topic of that, since I have ChatGPT, let's bring it up. And let's do this. So let's see if we can get ChatGPT to write a 500-word essay for reasons to I won't waste your time dating. So like, let's see how we prompt this. Let's do write a 500-word essay for reasons. Okay, let's just say reasons you should date me.
This ought to be very, very interesting.
And how I won't waste your time like I'm doing right now, wasting my time. All right, let's see. Oops. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Oh, ChatGPT, why you gotta do me like that?
It's really doing it. That's some creepy stuff. Is that a free app?
It is. But no, that's not what it is. It's giving me a lecture instead. Like it says, as an AI language model, I don't have the ability to date anyone. However, I can provide some insights on what makes a good partner and how one can avoid wasting their partner's time in a relationship.
Oh my God. Wait,
It
is
didn't. It
that,
didn't.
hold on. Is that a website?
Yeah, it is.
It's called Chat GPT.
Yeah. Have you never used ChatGPT?
I've never used it
before?
because it kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Okay,
But I'm
so
gonna start. I'm gonna have fun with it while doing a little 420 later.
oh no, yeah, this is great. So instead of that, why don't we just read what ChatGPT's relationship advice for people is? When it
Okay.
comes to dating, the most important thing to be genuine and honest with your partner. It's important to be yourself and try not to pretend to be someone you're not. That's actually pretty decent advice.
that's
Okay,
right.
let's keep going. People are attracted to authenticity and being true to yourself will make you more attractive to potential partners. That's
I
actually
agree.
good advice.
Okay.
Additionally, being honest with your intentions and what you're looking for in a relationship can help avoid wasting your time and your partner's time. Also, good advice. All right, this is surprisingly helpful. Another important quality in a partner is being respectful and considerate. This means being attentive to your partner's needs, desires, and feelings and doing your best to accommodate them. I have no arguments there. That is all good. This is actually probably better dating advice than I've received from some friends.
That's true.
It also means being open to compromise and communication and being willing to work through your conflicts in a respectful and constructive way. Okay, that actually brings up a really good video I need to bring up right now. So we'll come back to this. And what ChatGPT is saying is good information because this next video will make you understand most people today do not share the same sentiments as ChatGPT. You have never seen this video, so this is going to be a cold one for you, my friend. So check out this crazy chick.
Won't help me! I wish you would help me, Carlos. I wish you would help me. It's so making me look stupid. You look stupid and confused the entire time we're here. And it's cool. I'm American and I don't understand a single word that it says. Why? Sorry, son of a bitch. I hate you for doing this to me. This is my first flight and you're doing this to me.
Run, bro. Run.
All right, so put that into context.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's apparently her first flight, and she was just going off on her partner.
Okay,
Like,
that was her partner.
That was her partner. That was her boyfriend. And
He's got to be miserable.
Oh yeah, but that goes back to what we were talking about with Chat GPT and being constructive.
He look,
Communicating in a constructive way.
that dude is better than me. I'm telling you right now, because she would have been sitting right there at that airport by herself. I was like, I'm going to the bathroom real quick, and I would have bounced.
I got in the next flight out of there, man.
If I don't have time for
insane.
that. I'm telling you right now. You want to sit here and act a fool and embarrass me? That means you know what she is, right? Usually when your partner or your friends embarrass you in front of other people like that,
Yep.
that's some narcissistic. That's another red flag.
It's definitely a red flag.
Walk away, men or ladies. Walk away.
Right. So I want to read the rest of what ChatGPT said for relationship advice because this is actually pretty good. In terms of reasons why somebody should date you, it's important to showcase your positive qualities and what you bring to the relationship. This could include things like your sense of humor, your intelligence and wit, your compassion and empathy, or your adventurous spirit. It is also important to highlight your interests and passions, as this can help you connect with potential partners who share similar interests. All good advice. So ChatGPT has better relationship advice than most therapists.
That's true.
If you're looking for a serious relationship, it's important to be clear about this from the outset. This will help you attract partners who are on the same page and avoid wasting your time with people who are looking for something more casual.
That's
true.
That's kind of creepy.
I know, right?
Because that's almost what I'm looking for in a partner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything whatever the heck it is, this Terminator program, freaking Skynet, named.
Well, that's why a lot of people are going to AI girlfriends. Like that's a whole thing where people are
Sure.
getting AI girlfriends because they're better partners than actual women today.
And I'm glad you said that because it's mainly men who are doing it.
It
Mainly
is,
men.
or passport bros. They're
Yeah,
going
passport
overseas to get
bros. There's men that are just fed up in the West. They're like, man, I'm tired of these loud, in your face, super independent,
Mhm.
da 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 da. Well, look, if you're so independent, why are you yelling at me because something couldn't get done? Do it yourself. You're independent, right? Miss Independent, get it done.
Miss Independent. Yep,
Get it
she can get it
done.
done. She can
You
get
know
it
what I
done.
mean? I don't
I
mind
don't get it.
independence. I think independence is sexy. But
Mhm.
if you're one of those ladies that has to use that as a badge of honor, I'm independent, and you're throwing it in your man's face, you're pretty much telling your man you're too independent and you don't need him and you're with him only for convenience or whatever other reason because you're
Right.
independent. You don't need him. I don't get downs like that. I'm pretty independent myself. Two independent people can meet in the middle and be like, we can be independent on this, but
Right.
we're together on this.
No, that it makes sense. I get you, man, and that's the way it should be.
So I'm
Let's continue on.
scared.
I want to finish what else it has on here. Additionally, being clear
I'm
about
in
your
love.
expectations and boundaries can help ensure that you and your partner are on the same page and can build a healthy and fulfilling relationship.
Mm,
Yep, this is good advice. To avoid wasting your partner's time, it's important to be respectful of their time and energy. There's a key point right there. Time and energy.
don't waste time.
There are a
You know,
lot of people that
you
waste
can't
time
get
and
time.
energy.
You can't get time back, man. That's huge.
Mhm.
Time loss is that you'll never get that time back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I don't know. Is chat? Is it single?
Right? I'm sure
I
you can.
might have
I'm
to
sure you can
switch
find
up
one.
and
There's going to be a
start
Chat GPT like dating bot eventually.
start dating. I'm gonna talk to Google later. Be like, Google, tell me something nice.
Tell me I'm sweet. Tell me I'm
Tell me I'm a
awesome.
nice, sweet person.
Right?
I can
Okay, so
see why guys are. Man, I can kind of get it. You know
I
what I
get it.
mean?
I get
I,
it.
I think it's a little weird. I would never date AI, but I can kind of get it. I like human contact. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
like being
yeah.
able to touch and
There's certain
feel
things
and
you can't get through AI
the
and physical contact
smells.
being them.
The smell and just I like it. I like it a lot. The pheromones. I need it in my life.
I need actual people. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Where was I? This means being punctual and reliable and honoring
Mhm.
your commitments. It also means being considerate of your partner's needs and desires and making an effort to meet them whenever possible. Communication is key here, and being open and honest with your partner and your availability and priorities can help avoid misunderstandings and conflict. I think that's good advice for most people. I think a lot of people waste each other's time by
Mhm.
playing stupid games. Men
And
and women
that's
both.
very good advice. I'm gonna have to. I pulled Chat GPT up right now, so when we get off, I'm gonna be asking
It-
it all types of questions. But the
yeah,
thing is, one thing that this AI didn't bring up was respecting boundaries. You know
no,
what
it
I
did.
mean? Because
It did say that.
oh, it didn't. Oh,
Yeah,
see,
it did.
that thing is huge. It's smart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
damn.
yeah, being respect. There was one section in here it said that I'd have to go back and find it, but I wanted to finish the rest of it, which is ultimately the key to building a healthy and fulfilling relationship is to be authentic, respectful, and considerate by showcasing your positive qualities, being clear about your intentions, and respecting your partner's time and energy. You can build a strong foundation for a lasting and meaningful relationship. So that,
Hmm.
my friends, is ChatGPT's advice for the rest of us on dating, so the
And
AI understands us better.
some people, I mean, you could write a book. You can take that and write a book with it.
Oh, I'm
Because
sure
there's
you
a
could.
lot of
And
people out there that are just, for me being single, I'm not really in the dating scene. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I don't do all the apps and whatever they're called, the Tenders and Plenty of Fish and all that shit. I
Yeah,
used to, but it was
I think
boring.
back in the day it was a little better, but now it's just
Yeah, and
awful.
it's boring. But a lot of people get on these apps and they put on a front like this.
Hmm.
The AI was saying they're not showing their genuine self.
Authentic
So
self. Yep.
a lot of people in the dating scene get disappointed because people are putting on a front, and then when they meet them in person, they're totally freaking
Right.
different, and that's why a lot of relationships decline because you wasn't who you said you was. So if people are just genuine and show who you really are, and especially for the ladies, always have a filter or makeup on your
Mm-hmm.
face 24/7, because that's telling me that you're hiding something. You know
Right.
what I mean?
I actually agree with that. I think a lot of relationships today is the reason they fail is a lack of respect, boundaries, and then also here's another thing that I think is true that people miss out on is the fact that don't mistake boredom for being having a peaceful life, right? Just because things seem boring, that just means you are at peace. You are in a
Mm-hmm.
peaceful relationship. And there's a lot of things, the problem that happen is people, men and women, get bored and they mistake that boredom for having a peaceful life.
Yes.
And that's where things go awry is because you think you're bored, you do things to spice things up, or you get into an affair, or you do something you're not supposed to, and it ruins your relationship when you were already at peace. You found the end game, right? You beat the game. All you had to do is just coast the rest of the way, and then you ruined it for yourself because you thought it was boredom, which it wasn't. It was just you were
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. It was a peaceful life.
And peace is like one of the biggest things for me when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
relationships. I'm already at peace right now. I'm at peace. I'm at peace with my life right now. I'm improving, though there are improvements, and of course I'm constantly trying to improve myself, but I'm at peace. I don't need someone coming into my life bringing chaos, and that's happened to me before. You're already
Yeah.
at a level to where you're peace, you're comfortable with everything that's going on in your life, and then this person comes in and just brings all this chaos, and it disrupts your peace. Then
Yep.
your life becomes chaotic. Now you're in a situation where you don't know how you're going to get out of this situation. Yeah, you can walk away. Yeah, you can run away. Yeah, you can do that. But now you have all this chaos in your life, and you can't really recover from that. Even if you break up
Yep.
with them, you still can't recover, because what that does, it changes your outlook on, I'm talking from a man's perspective, it changes my
Right.
outlook on women in general. You can
Mm-hmm.
come at me as this nice, peaceful person, loving and all this, and then the minute they got you, a switch turns, and now you're
Mm-hmm.
like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Right.
So you have to bring peace to, especially the older you get. Like, I'm middle aged. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need somebody that's running around pinging off walls every day, wanting to go to bars every weekend, wanting to just go, 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 go. No, chill. You know,
Yep.
this is my peace right here.
Exactly.
But
No,
I'm
I agree
attracted
with
to
you.
the mind too. Just to throw that out there.
No, I agree with you. Like you should be each other's safety and security and peace. Like you shouldn't bring the outside world into your safe place, your castle, right? When you come home, you don't need somebody on your case 24/7. That's not a peaceful life. If you can sit there and do nothing with each other and just like be comfortable, that is the end goal of a relationship is being there for each other and supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Not when not when things are good all the time, but when things are bad, just being there sometimes is enough for some people. And it should be. Like just being there should be enough and being comfortable with each other is enough. That is the ultimate goal of a relationship. And then also just respecting each other. Don't do things like one of the ultimate for me the ultimate test of a relationship is if you could trust that person with a secret of yours and they won't use it against you in an argument, right? The first time that happens with somebody you're dating, don't date them anymore
Drop them.
because that shows the lack of respect for them. If you can keep a secret and keep your mouth shut about it and tell nobody and even don't even use it against them, that is a sign of a healthy, respectful relationship. And it
Red
doesn't even have to be
flags.
something bad either. It's just something that is important to you, right? That you trust them with that information, that they won't use it against you. That's how you do that.
Exactly. And for me, like I said, we've known each other for what, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm very much a homebody. I'm like
Mm-hmm.
one of those real chill, man. I like to chill. I like a chick that can sit at home all weekend, and we could sit there and watch movies all weekend in our pajamas and just enjoy each other's company.
Yep.
Or we can flip it and go out on a town or whatever. But like I said, I just don't want somebody who's just always has to be doing something, always has to be out, always has to be out and about. Every once in a
Yep.
while I enjoy doing that. So a lot of times when you try to meet somebody, you really have to match, because that's crap. Opposites attract, man. I don't believe that anymore.
No,
I don't
I don't
believe
think so
that.
either.
You really have to be in line and in tune with each other on a lot of levels, and the levels: looks, education, intellect, music. I mean, all that stuff plays a key part in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's hard out there in these streets.
It is. It's hard for single
hard.
people.
And I'm not even looking personally.
Mhm.
Do I have a couple crushes, couple people that I'm like, oh, she's attractive? Yeah, of course. Am I gonna bite on it? No, I'm not. I'm not.
I'm perfectly happy in my marriage.
Because
And
I am
relationship.
terrified to date right now.
I would be too.
telling you.
Like I've already told my wife if like anything ever happened to either like her in our relationship, I probably wouldn't date anybody again because I'm done. I know what my peak happiness is, and I don't want anything else, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's me. And I'm not even out there in the streets. I'm not out chasing. I'm not.
Right.
I just don't have time, and I don't have the patience. You know what I mean? And it's exhausting.
It is
Constantly meeting someone new. You got to get to know them. You got to go out on a date, and you got to go to this and that and get to know them. And then, and then you put in all this work just for it not to work.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't want to do it either, man.
I need
speaking of
single moms. I love single moms because most of them are chill as fuck.
You heard it here. Moving on from that, I want to get to the last two things I want to talk about before we head out of here tonight. One of them being Daniel Penny. He is the former Marine that is being charged with manslaughter and the death of Jordan Neely. We covered this on Savage Patriots already, so I'm not going to rehash all that. If you want to watch the episode, go watch it. But from my point of view as a veteran with this, he was doing what we were always instilled and taught was to take care of each other and the citizens and people around us, do the right thing. And he was doing what he thought was the right thing, which was protecting other people who are under the threat of violence. And I'm still wondering if they're going to charge the other two individuals who happen to be not white, by the way, that were involved in that situation, if he's the only one getting charged with manslaughter because he is white. And then that's honestly what it is that he's getting charged because he's a white man. That's it.
They won't go after the other two, at least in my opinion. Remember we talked about on the Savage Patriots how the family was nowhere to be found, and all of a sudden this family's going to act like they love this family member. They're on the news and they're standing there and all this because they know they're getting money for it, for one.
Yeah, they know they're going to get paid off of this, and they
For
came out of
two,
the woodwork.
Yeah, for two, you probably got people like Al Sharpton involved, a lot of these uber pro-blacks that are in contact with a lot of these important people saying, hey, something needs to happen. So this guy's going to get the business.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we say, they're going to make an example because they got to show marginalized groups that there is justice if something bad happens to you.
And it's just one of those things that infuriate me because it just goes to show you cannot defend yourself or others in the United States.
And that's what it's coming down to. I got tagged in a video earlier. Someone was talking about how Jordan Peterson, a lot of these black people that are in the limelight when it comes to media, they are, like we talked about earlier, they're all white supremacists. They have a white supremacist ideology.
Yeah.
So I asked them, I was like, so what are they just supposed to sit back and allow people that look like them to do all the things that they do without any type of repercussions? And that's pretty much what it is. Because if you go back to these young black kids that killed that white dude at his mailbox, you go back to that old black man that shot those two white dudes just for being white, that's not plastered all over the news anymore. You're talking about some guy who was actually defending people and supposedly choked him out. But anybody that's went through any type of, hand-to-hand, combatives, martial arts, jiu-jitsu, you can see that wasn't a proper choke. So like we said on the Savage Patriots, it's probably another reason why he died.
Now, you make a good point. I want to bring that back up because like if you go on this based off of what we've been taught and what we know is that you can, if you really intended to kill Jordan Neely, you could do it in less than a minute. In that hold, if you do it properly. They're out within a couple of seconds and they're dead within 30 seconds after that. If you do a proper blood choke, you can kill somebody fairly quickly. Or if you had the actual strength, I mean, despite what the movies tell you, it's actually really difficult to break somebody's neck. Like, you have to do it exactly the right way in order to do that. Like, just doing that whole, like, Steven Seagal, like, and like break necks. That's never gonna happen. You might just sprain their neck, but it's not gonna break. You have to do it in a specific way. I'm just saying that if he intended on doing it, it could have been different, but they're saying that it was over 15 minutes. He wasn't trying to hurt him. He was just trying to restrain him. Could there have been better ways to do it? Absolutely. But his intent is all that matters, because intent is what it shows.
And when it comes to training, let's say he had the proper choke and he passed out. Most people would have let go at that time. They would have saw the body go limp after a couple seconds. Oh, he's out.
Which he did.
Yeah. But they're saying 15 minutes. There's no way this guy's eyes were open for 15 minutes with that choke.
He was coherent for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it wasn't until the last bit that he let go.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There, with the proper technique, he wouldn't have had his eyes open looking. You would have saw his face expand, turn red, or whatever. It would have his eyes would have been popping out his head, because that's a proper choke. And if you've been choked, and when we go through training, they actually choke us out, you would understand that a proper choke, he wouldn't have been sitting there looking around and doing this. So again, it was another contributing factor, which we'll probably never find out. They'll brush that under the rug, but it's something else there. It's something else.
It is. It absolutely is. And I think we will find out in the next couple of weeks. And things that we're going to be finding out in the next couple of weeks for the last part of the show, we're going to talk about.
Real fast.
Okay,
the reason we're not going to find out is because they don't want the debacle what happened with George Floyd. How all this information started coming out saying he was on fentanyl, he was on drug, he was high. They're not going to allow that to get out. And you'll see. They're going to be like, oh, it was the choke. Maybe 10 years from now, they'll be like, oh, it wasn't, But in New York, he's probably not going to get acquitted. He's probably going to get convicted, and he's going to make away for 10, 15 years because of this on a manslaughter charge, which is sad. Like I said, I want to bring up Title 42 before we go. That's kind of the main story for the week that everybody's been talking about. And Chicagoans are having an issue with that because we need to be taken care of first. Chicago community, where 97% voted for Biden, react furiously after finding out 500 migrants. Oh my God, 500 migrants. That's a lot.
Are heading to their way and claim to have been bumped off the housing waiting list. Now, I have a video for everybody that is going to be fun for you. Let's just listen to the story coming out of Chicago from their own mouths. Oops, forgot to share it. Screen share. There we go.
Inside South Shore International College Prep.
Excuse me, a question was asked.
Hundreds of residents gathered to hear from city leaders on a plan to move migrants to the old South Shore High School.
I think what's important is that we really establish that this is a humanitarian crisis, and we're here. You're not supposed to interrupt. You're not supposed to interrupt.
Members of Mayor Lightfoot's administration were supposed to give a presentation, but were interrupted by angry outbursts. And decided to move directly to residents' questions. One being how many asylum seekers would be housed here.
We were looking at a potential phased approach utilizing the first floor first only. What that means, you can fit up to, we'd start with 250, 500.
I'm ticked off. You're doing this wrong. You're doing it wrong. 250 people? Give me a break. We have several home-based daycares. Who are they? Who are we going to be dealing with? I'm directly across the street. I have to fear for the children that I care for. I think it would be very fair for every homeless immigrant that you bring in, that you scoop up one of the homeless individuals in our community. I think that would be fair. And that you also provide that bed, that shower, that meal.
Look at all the xenophobics and bigots.
Yep. Hey, they're right, though.
They are right.
And I mean, that's a slap in the face to that whole community. You know what I mean? I mean, she talked about it's a humanitarian problem. They have a whole humanitarian problem in Chicago itself. Murders, homelessness, drugs. They have so many problems there. So pretty much the Democratic Party just told all those black people, we don't care about you, and we never have.
Yep.
Y'all
No,
better
that's-
wake up, Black America. Democrats don't care about you, and us black conservatives have been saying this.
You get what you vote for. I'm
Yep.
sorry, like that. I don't have sympathy for you because like that's exactly what the residents of Texas have been saying for years, right? And now that it's a problem because they're coming to Chicago and New York, right? Like they're complaining about 250, 500 people. The people in Texas have to deal with thousands, tens of thousands every single week.
All right, so I have a buddy who's down at the border. He works for DHS, right?
Right.
And he told me there's where's it at? Hold on.
Well, we bring that up. I got another video to show.
There's still okay, go ahead.
All right, so this is what they're saying in Chicago right now for everybody to listen to.
All these resources that have not come to us, now you want to overly compensate for people who never lived here before, and we need to be taken care of first and foremost before anything else happens here.
Why would any leader put our black communities already riddled with crime at further risk by placing unvetted non-taxpayers steps away from our seniors, our children, and our homes we've worked so hard on our own to secure?
We are at war, people. Our communities are at war. They are violating our communities, and we asking that we across the country, we asking and we're demanding for office of Black America, or whatever you want to call it, to deal with issues like this.
I did get placed on a wait list, but I was told that the immigrants were taking priority. That's a story that a lot of people don't know, and it hurt me. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I understand we need to be humanitarian, but these people that my participants are third and fourth generation Chicagoan, born, bred, fed, and raised here. My grandmother, Mayrella Carrington, rest in peace, always said, Craig, charity starts at home first, and then it go abroad.
That's right.
Politically, having over 500 people in our community would completely wipe out any interest we have.
Many of these migrants have been dumped in our neighborhoods without a plan in place to monitor and house them long term.
I'm not selling nothing, and I keep telling people, you don't have to move. If you sell, they gonna come in. If we don't sell, we gotta stand strong and
That's right. You just getting started.
So this is everything that they've been saying is what Republicans have been saying for years in Texas. For years.
But
And they're
we're the xenophobes, right?
Yeah, right.
But I was talking to my buddy down there. He's down at the border. So I was asking him, how bad is it down there? Is it as bad as what the media is saying? Pretty much he's saying in the Brownsville, McAllen area, all that area, that they're just getting hundreds and hundreds of people flooding across the border, trying to sneak in through riverbanks and everything. So they're kind of catching them as they're coming in. But he said in the California, El Paso, that side, he was like, it's even crazier over there. But he said a lot of the gunfire that you're hearing is on the Mexican side, the Mexico side, between the Mexican army and the cartels. So
yeah,
I sent you 2 pictures of these people they picked up, and that's what they left. All that trash.
Oh, I've seen that. All the trash and all of the yeah, I see that.
So I feel for the people in Chicago right now. You know, it's almost like they've been betrayed. You know, the people that they voted for, the people that they supported, turned their backs on them. You know, and that's a huge voting base out there. So we'll see what happens these next few years.
Yep, that's insane though. All that stuff that they had, all that trash that they just dumped. It's all the passports, IDs, everything, because they don't want to be identified as soon as they go in.
That's right.
It's insane. And here's the best part is what Mayorkas was saying about the border. That's the other video I had to share because this is really important information for people to understand of what the administration is saying about this whole situation. This is Mayorkas on CNN.
You are getting regular updates from the southern border. What is the latest with regard to border crossings? And do you believe the surge has peaked?
Dan, over the past 2 days, the United States Border Patrol has experienced a 50% drop in the number of encounters versus what we were experiencing earlier in the week before Title 42 ended at midnight on Thursday. It is still early. We are in day 3. But, we've been planning for this transition for months and months, and we've been executing on our plan, and we will continue to do so.
So it's too early to say whether the surge has peaked.
It is too early, but the numbers that we have experienced over the past 2 days are markedly down over what they were prior to the end of Title 42.
What are the numbers, 5,000?
So we have seen, I think, approximately 6,300 on Friday and about 4,200 yesterday by the United States Border Patrol. And we saw over 10,000 before the end of Title 42 earlier last week.
Why do you think that is?
Because we have communicated very clearly a vitally important message to the individuals who are thinking of arriving at our southern border. There is a lawful, safe, and orderly way to arrive in the United States that is through the pathways that President Biden has expanded in an unprecedented way. And then there's a consequence if one does not use those lawful pathways. And that consequence is removal from the United States, a deportation, and encountering a 5-year ban on reentry and possible criminal prosecution.
So that's what they're saying it is. But like here,
well, I can confirm, that part. I was told by a source, a really good one, someone that's actually there. He did say the numbers have dropped. He said when Title 42 when it first ended, he's like, it was crazy down there. But he said, they are dropping. They're not seeing as many. I don't know the total percentage, but he did say that there's not as many coming across as it was in the very beginning. But who knows? I don't know.
So I was going to say, for those of you who don't know, as of May 14, 2023, any non-citizens who cross the border illegally and do not have a legal reason to remain in the United States will be processed for removal under Title 8. The removal process under Title 8 is lengthy compared to Title 42, which requires a legal screening, creating a paper trail. Under Title 8, border officials can quickly expel asylum-seeking migrants they encounter at the border without processing their asylum claims. Following regular rules of processing an asylum, more than 2.5 million migrants have been turned away under Title 42 since 2020. If we already know that Title 42 has already ended, the government reverts previous immigration law, which falls under Title 8 of the U.S. Code. Under Title 8, the U.S. is required to give migrants who request asylum a preliminary interview or a chance to present their case in front of an immigration judge. So we went away from just being able to turn them away to now we have to give them a hearing. Every single one of them.
And that takes forever. Because when I worked in a jail, man, we used to get illegals a lot. And they did have to go through that process. DHS would call them, immigration would call them, then they would wait to go see a judge. And it'd be days before they even picked them up to go stand in front of a immigration judge, whatever the heck you call them. So all these people, it's going to be a very long process if they're waiting on that. Very long process, because then they got to weed out the criminals. They got to weed out the gangsters. They got to weed out the cartel members. And then you got different people from all different countries down there. You got Sudan, you have Venezuela, you have Chinese. I mean, there's so much going on down there right now. He said it's pretty chaotic. So
it's 128 different countries have been showing up at the border. It's not like everybody just assumes it's like Latin Americans or Southern Americans that are coming up. It's everybody and their mother are coming through the southern border. And here's the thing is, like, before we go, I want to show this last video to show you exactly what is they're thinking. CNN did this interview with a migrant and didn't get the answers he was looking for.
Y una pregunta, ¿usted está enterado del título 42 y que iban a abrir la frontera como antes de la pandemia? Were you aware of Title 42 and that they were going to open the border like before the pandemic?
Sí, está enterado.
Por eso viniste, that's why you came?
Claro, igual que mucha gente.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. Gracias, muchas gracias y suerte con tu viaje, Pedro. Pedro, it represents a lot of the stories here, the migrants that we're hearing on the streets. So many officials here have told us they are ready for what's coming next, projecting an air of confidence. Sarah, only time will tell if they're right. Sarah?
Yeah, that interview didn't last long after he said that, yeah, they came up here because Title 42 is expiring.
Yeah, of course, they were told ahead. They were told ahead of time, man.
Yeah, they knew.
Look, this is a shiny object, man, because I think this whole Title 42 thing ending, the administration knew it was going to end. DHS knew it was going to end. They all knew it was going to end. Now they're scrambling last minute. So I really believe there's something else going on, man. Like, I truly, and this is the shiny object they're showing us right now. Here's the shiny object, and then they're showing us the Patriot front. That's another shiny object. But they're showing both these shiny objects, and I truly believe, man, something else. Deep down in my gut, I believe that there is something going on, and it's going to mess with our finances, the financial system. Something's going to happen. They just got to take our focus off of that while they're doing this over here. So, keep your eye on it. That's what I would say. Keep your eye on that border. Keep your eye on whatever, but pay attention to everything else. Don't focus on the shiny objects too much. That's
true.
my
And
rant.
This is going to get worse before it gets better, and they are not protecting America as it is. And like I said, you get what you vote for. So all these cities that are sanctuary cities are gonna get worse because they're gonna keep busting them into places. It used to be just a border state problem. Now it's everybody's problem, and that's the way it should have been from the beginning. If you isolate it to just Republican states, you call them xenophobes, you have no idea what you're talking about, because now you're actually feeling what it's like to be a border city.
Yep.
And so now things are changing. There are a lot of other things when it comes to immigration we can talk about, but we'll have to say that for another time. We've already gone 5 minutes over than we usually do for our show, but that's okay. I think we did pretty good tonight. Glad that the new software is working. You can always follow us at the Hooch Podcast on pretty much everything as well. We are always going to be live Sundays at 6 p.m. You will find us here. And then on the Savage Patriots, you can find us there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at it's 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's right.
Eastern, yes.
Eastern Standard. We are in the Central Time, the best time.
It is. It's true. It's the only time.
But yeah, thanks for everybody coming out. We will see you all next week as well. We will keep doing what we do so that we can provide you with the best commentary in the business. But anyway, that's our show for tonight, America. We love you, and we are out.
According to your Facebook page, we aren't friends.